Imagine a situation where no matter how hard you work, you are always subject to harsh criticism. What if we are always condemned publicly, irrespective of our actions? How do you motivate a person when only the negative aspects get highlighted? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. The start of this millennium was special for Indian cricket, as a certain person was appointed as the leader of Indian cricket team. He immediately abolished a decade-old selection process for Indian cricket team. Previously, a captain would make sure that there are more national players from his area. A captain from North India would make sure that there are more national players from North India. A captain from South India would make sure that more and more South Indian players make the cut. But after he took charge, he refused to be biased by any means. He fought for the selection of certain talented young cricketers, none of whom were from his zone. Each and every one of them played a pivotal role behind the victory of India in the 2011 Cricket World Cup. Thanks to him, the Indian cricket team overcame localization for the first time. However, his greatest achievement was modifying the status of Indian cricket team in the eyes of entire cricketing world. Previously, the Indian cricket team was considered to be tigers on the field just as long as the match was played on our homeland. But whenever the conditions were foreign, the mighty tiger would transform into a harmless, innocent cat. From 1990 to 2000, we played 41 test matches abroad and succeeded to win only one of them. That too against Sri Lanka in 1993, which in those days was even worse than the current Bangladesh team. The situation was same in one-day matches. India could only win 38% of the matches played. But after he took charge, we would go on to win 11 test matches abroad in the next 5 years. That was more than all the away test victories we achieved from 1932 to 2000 in all the previous years of playing cricket. In one days also, the percentage of victories went up from a weak 38% to 55%. He became the first person ever to turn the tide. But in spite of all these achievements, the appreciation he received was negligible. Throughout his career, he was always targeted for all the wrong reasons. Before he made his debut, the critics knew that there was something wrong with his batting. But then, he became the fastest player to reach 7,000 and 8,000 one-day runs. The critics finally acknowledged that everything was fine with him, except his speed of running and his fielding. But then, after he became captain, his batting average dropped from 45 to 37.66. Some cricket experts wanted to see him drop from the Indian squad. At one point or the other, performances had dropped for each and every great international cricket captain. They were always spared from the criticism. But in India, the results of his captaincy were never considered. He was under constant pressure. Even though some cricketing legends hailed him as the god of offside, the critics were underwhelmed. In 2002, after a certain cricket match played in London, England, he did something special, that too on the offside. After all, he was the god of offside. And perhaps it was his way of reminding the critics who he really was. But all the critics saw was the apparent disrespect he was causing to the game of cricket, as Lord's Stadium in London is considered to be the Mecca of cricket. Ironically, no one seemed to care when a certain English gentleman did the same a few months back in Mumbai, which is considered as the Mecca of cricket in India. But he never responded to the critics, and he always let his actions do the talking for him. On 7th of October 2008, he finally reached his limit as he announced his retirement at a premature age of 35. He could have easily played for another 2 years, but after answering his critics for 12 long years, he simply could not motivate himself any longer. 8 years have passed since his retirement. Indian cricket is once again back to where it was in 2000. In the last 8 years, we have been subject to whitewashes and defeats in several foreign nations, with occasional victories in countries like West Indies and Bangladesh. Nowadays, as the Indian cricket team often gets decimated in foreign cricket matches, we are slowly starting to miss the overall impact Sourav Ganguly had as the captain and the player of Indian cricket team. Nowadays, pointing out faults of a certain person is an easy task. Anyone can do it. But in the end, what really matters is whether we can empathize with a person to overcome his or her faults. Otherwise, that person would be exposed to futile criticism which would be unable to help anyone. That criticism would be unfair and unwanted without any hint of improvement. Then it won't be long before all of us get exposed to the same treatment. One day, the inevitable will happen as all of us would end up quitting the thing for which we are criticized, just like Sourav Ganguly did 8 years ago. Is it really desirable to pointlessly criticize, condemn and complain until and unless a person is fully fed up? Or is it ideal to guide that person to overcome his or her faults? The decision is up to us. Thank you.